All right, if you remember last week, we had a very cool guest, Mr. Chris Zähller. We learned all about him and thought it would be a great idea to try something new and experiment and have a guest interviewer. And so today we're going to be interviewing Skating Polly, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Peyton Big Horse and Kelly Mayo, they're stepsisters, and they, I saw them because Chris Sanders from the Banditos invited me to come up and photograph his band at camps, and consequently the other two bands, who were the Chloes from Dallas and Skating Polly from up in Edmond here, and I really liked what I saw and heard, and it was pretty clear that these girls were going to go somewhere. They kept doing what they were doing, so I wanted to find out more, and we were finally able to sit down and talk to them today.
And they're really young, right? How old are they?
I think Kelly is just turned 15. She's either 14 or 15, and Peyton is 17. She's going to graduate this year.
Jeez, that's crazy. And they're up touring all over the place.
They've been playing since Kelly was 9.
and they're pretty good. I'm not full disclosure. I'm not fully familiar, and that's why I want you to interview them for us. But also, this interview we're going to show here is going to be a condensed version, but the full-on interview is going to be on your blog.
Right, that'll be at mercuryphoto.com, which is mercury-photo.com.
All right. Well, let's not beat around the bush any longer, and let's get right to it.
All right.
Coming up next is
Sounds
Skating
good.
Polly. So stick around.
You and me, we don't ever see what there is to see, but man who wants to be seen. We and us don't second guess, said the world's a mess, but man who wants to admit that.
All right, so I'm Chris, and I'm doing an interview today for Mercury Photo Bureau and also for REV Hi-Fi, and I've got Skating Polly here. So let's jump right into it. How about you introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Kelly. And I'm Peyton.
Okay. And Skating Polly have been making waves lately in the indie music world, not just here in Oklahoma, but in quite a few other places. You guys just came off of the first leg of a tour, I understand.
It was a lot of fun. We got to open for the Flaming Lips, and Cliff, actually, before we played, got on stage and introduced us to the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nerve-wracking. There were like 2,600 people there, so it was the biggest show we've ever played.
Wow.
Yeah, all those guys are really, really nice to us, and like their new light show is super cool. We love the Terror so much. It's one of our favorite albums. So it was really cool. We were like backstage watching them and watching their new light show and how everyone was taking it in. And everyone took it in pretty well. Everyone liked it quite a bit.
Tell me about how you met the Lips.
Well, we did a music video with the people who do their music videos.
D-Lo
D-Lo Creative, yeah. And so I guess Cliff saw one of our videos on like their page, and he was like, "Oh, who is that?" And then George was like, "Oh, it's Skating Polly." And so Cliff came to one of our shows, and after that, he was just like super, super supportive. He like bought Taking Over the World, and he like invited us to one of his shows, and he got us like backstage passes, and we saw one of their shows, and it was really, really fun. We met Wayne, and Wayne came to one of our shows, and then after that, it was just like, you know, Cliff was just the most supportive person we know, really. He gave us his drum set, because he got a new silver drum set for the Terry, and it's, yeah, I couldn't really ask for anything more from him.
Well, I was going to ask you about the band name, actually. How'd you come up with that?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of like a lot of things just like went through my head, but I mean, it was like a really quick decision, but it had a lot of thought. I don't know. There was a bunch of different reasons. I guess one of the reasons was because we wanted something that like stood for both of us, you know, like Kelly and Peyton. So K for Kelly, P for Peyton.
Mm-hmm.
So we were trying to like think of words. So we thought like Skating Polly, and originally we had the K capitalized for Kelly and then the P for Peyton, obviously. And then, but I mean, that wasn't the only thing that went into that. Like, I also kind of wanted, whenever we were thinking about it, I wanted something that would seem like maybe like kind of juvenile, for so that people would be like, oh, what's this? Are they gonna like sing their ABCs or something, you know? But whenever they actually got there, that like they could actually, you know, see it. But I also wanted something that wouldn't seem like it would last just for now, you know? Like, I didn't want to put like, oh, the Kid Polly's or something, you know? I wanted something that would last a while and wouldn't really age necessarily.
Peyton, you were a drummer first, right? Before
Yeah.
Kelly was?
Yes.
So how did you pick up the drums? When did you start playing?
I think it was either 7th or 8th grade. Probably 8th, actually. I started taking drum lessons, and I took those for like half a year. And then I just decided that I wasn't really wanting to go in the direction that the drum teacher was like taking me. Because he was wanting to teach me all this technical, like, metal drumming, which is cool if you're going to be in a metal band. But I didn't want to be in a metal band.
Yeah.
So I just kind of stopped and then started doing my own stuff from there.
Well, that brings me to one of those questions that you get asked a lot, I'm sure, which is, how would you describe your music?
Well, that's always a tough question because, like, we don't necessarily want to, like, classify our music as punk music because it's not really completely punk music. I mean, we have some more louder, grungy sounding songs, but we're not completely a punk band. We also have really poppy sounding songs.
I was going to say, I hear a lot of pop elements in the music, in the best sense.
So I really don't know. Whenever I describe our music to people, I kind of just say it's like a mixture. It's just, you know, we do have some stuff that's more like grungy and punk, but then we also have really poppy, more like indie alternative stuff.
Okay. Now, if I did my research right, you started playing the bass guitar because your dad gave it to you. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, whenever we first started a band, I couldn't. I was 9, I think, and I would always whine about my fingers hurting from holding down guitar strings and stuff. So my dad made me this instrument called a bass guitar. Actually, I think that's how they pronounce it. It's okay. And the presidents of the United States of America made one, and my dad like heard about it. And what it is like you can hold down any 2 bass strings anywhere on it, and it creates a chord. And so that's what I played because it was pretty simple, and I could come up with. Well, I would try to come up with, you know, little simple melodies off of it. But our first record, most of the songs would only have like 2 or 4 chords in them.
South by Southwest. You just played there. Pretty exciting. But I've talked to other bands who've played down there, so I know it can also be a real crapshoot because there's so many other bands playing, and getting noticed is really hard. So, how do you feel your reception was down there on that?
I felt like people liked us a lot who saw us. It was really busy. We had like 7 shows, and we actually forgot our equipment out like more than once. We lost our drum seat down there. We didn't lose anything else, which was cool. But it was really busy, and it was exciting. It was really tiring.
We got to meet like 2 of our biggest role models ever.
Yeah.
We met Lori Barbero from Babes in Toyland. And then we met, oh my god, I'm totally blanking. Okay. Jody Stevens from Big Star.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was really cool. It's awesome.
Yeah. Did I read somewhere, I just wrote this down this morning, that I think, didn't Roseanne Cash have something nice to say about you guys?
She did,
Yeah. She said that basically she just like really likes us. Do you remember the exact quote?
She said, in summary, pretty much, she called us a breath of fresh air.
Oh, yeah.
Any idea how she found out about you guys?
Through Exene.
Yeah, her and Exene are friends.
Ah, okay.
And then Exene's ex-husband, Viggo Mortensen, also he said that we were just like little geniuses.
Well, I have to tell you, after I had you send me the lyrics, because it's not always easy to hear them during the shows, I have to agree. There's some brilliant stuff in here. I really liked, and maybe you can tell me a bit about this. I'm going to need to put on my readers. Don't get old, guys. Stay young so you don't have to wear 3 pairs of glasses. There's a section in, actually a couple of sets of lines here in Lost Wonderfuls that really struck me.
So once you're lost, yeah, I'll take you home. And once you're found, yeah, I'll be alone. Yeah, and I know.
So this is Kelly's lyrics here. So once you're sick, yeah, I'll nurse you well, and once you're good, yeah, I'll be in hell. And then kind of the same idea but different later in the song. So once you're lost, I'll take you home, and once you're found, I'll be alone. So what was going through your head when you wrote that?
Well, I don't really know. I mean, sometimes our lyrics just tell stories, and then other times, you know, it just sounds good, like how it comes out of your mouth, and it just, like, it sounds smooth, and it sounds nice, and you put it out there. Sometimes, like, whenever I'm writing songs, I'll kind of just give it a theme. Like, I won't necessarily have a story.
Right.
But I'll just have, like, an image in my head, just, like, a theme, and I'll try to put that into words. And you know, we try to make our lyrics interesting and not typical out of what you would expect from, like, a teen band or a kid band. We try to be more, you know, we try to go, like, beyond that if we can. So I don't really know necessarily what I meant there. Sometimes I really don't know what I mean in my lyrics. Sometimes I try to talk about what other people go through, and what other people say that they go through, and what other people think that they go through. And then other times, you know, I don't necessarily know what my lyrics mean until later, and I'll be like, oh, I kind of understand this more. It could mean this, it could mean that, you know. And, like, I think it was Kurt Cobain who said, like, you know, his lyrics might mean one thing to him and then something completely different to someone else. So necessarily there, I don't really know what I meant. I mean, I guess it was kind of a theme of, like, betrayal or something, but, you know, it wasn't really like I knew exactly what I was talking about, or like I was necessarily going through that. But yeah.
Peyton, I think you're the one who, in another interview, somebody was really, you know, asking about your long-term career plans with this, and you said something that really I thought was terrific. This is not just a lemonade stand for us.
I think that was actually Kelly.
It was Kelly. It was. Oh gosh. Well, I'm even more impressed because I mean that's such an adult way of looking at it and phrasing it. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about, you know, future plans for the band and how you're going to keep this going?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Me and Peyton really never ever want to stop doing what we're doing because this is really the only thing that we see us, you know, this is the only thing we really, really, really like this. I mean, we both love art and we both love, like, I don't know, just making stuff in general, but there's something, like, about music, and there's something about being on stage and all the little factors and things that we have to do to be a band that kind of make us love it so much. You know, we love being on the road, and we love recording, and we love making art for it, and just you know, we kind of love everything about it. And so yeah, this is definitely what we're gonna be doing for probably the rest of our lives, and seeing people like Exene and, you know, the people from Dead Moon and the Flaming Lips even, they really dedicate their lives to, like, art and music, and they just keep doing it forever and ever and ever, and they never stop. And that's kind of like what we want to do. I mean, it might seem weird that we're saying this at such a young age. Well, Peyton's really not that young. She's graduating this year, but I mean, in 7th grade, I think I have it all figured out. But I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm just saying, like, right now where I am and right now where Peyton is, we don't really see us doing anything else with our lives. Like, this is really the main thing we're dedicated to.
You see me, no talking that crap, 'cause I know you know I don't translate that. Let's be cool and let's not
you know, you guys put a lot of energy and time into this. You probably are more dedicated to this than a lot of adults are, and it mystifies me how you guys find the time to do that and keep up with school and all that other stuff. So, do you guys reserve any spare time beyond that for things outside of music that bring you pleasure?
Well, I mean, like, most of the time we will go home, and if we have any homework, if I have time, I'll do it before Kelly gets home, but we like to practice, and then we'll stay up doing our homework. Except on Saturdays, I always reserve time to watch a TV show, but that's
A TV show.
It's Doctor Who.
Okay. I was going to ask, so I'm glad you said.
Yeah, but we don't really have a lot of free time to just do whatever we want. Like, we get out of the house sometimes, but most of the time we're just at our house doing homework and skating poly, showering.
Do you get to hang out with your friends at all?
Well, my friends are pretty much like, I have a friend at school, her name is Michaela, and I hang out with her every once in a while, but other than that, my friends are pretty much Kelly, and then my family, and then Cliff. I have like other friends, but not like really good friends that I actually hang out with, and so whenever Cliff's in town, we'll go eat dinner with him, and then I'm always hanging out with Kelly.
Right,
so.
yeah. Well, then I want to say thank you again for coming down here, and also for sitting through all the boring stuff while we got everything set up in here. And Mike's probably going to want you to sign some release forms in a minute.